Ron Jaworski led the Eagles to the NFC Championship, trip to the Super Bowl many, many, many years ago. And Jaws already gave us his picks for this weekend. All right, so let's see. Let me see what Jaws has. Jaws. The Ravens over the Texans by 4. Niners by 18 over the Packers. Lions by 10 over the Bucks, and the Bills by 3 over the Chiefs. Let's make way for Ron Jaworski. Hey, Jaws, how are you?
Dan, great to be with you. Appreciate the introduction. I did not like that many, many years ago, though, in the Super Bowl.
Was it one too many many's?
One too many many's.
Okay, let me start in your backyard here with the Eagles.
Sure.
Nick Sirianni's future will be decided when?
It's already been decided. He should be the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles and finish his contract. I mean, he's won 34 and lost 17 regular season games, been in the playoffs 3 years, went to the Super Bowl. Yes, it was an awful finish to the season, but I think the full body of work of Nick Sirianni says there should be no concern about Nick Sirianni being the next head coach and stay as the head coach of the Eagles.
Are they going to announce this, or the fact that they're not announcing it leads you to believe that there's nothing to see here? Let's move on.
Yeah, Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, they take these things very, very seriously, as do all owners in the NFL. But the Eagles have always been very careful in looking at every option they have. And I just got to believe they believe in Nick Sirianni. I mean, the guy's done a good job. Jeffrey will be very, very thoughtful in his approach to it. And I think when he thinks it through, there'll be changes. There's no question. I mean, the team cratered in the second half of the season. There will be changes, but I don't think it'll be with Nick Sirianni.
Okay, can you pinpoint what happened here in the last 8 games with this team and the loss to Tampa Bay? Like, is there a singular thing that you can point your finger to?
I don't think there's a singular thing, Dan. There's kind of a theory that I have. I don't know if it's right, wrong, or indifferent. But during that 10-1 start, the team was playing good football, but they were barely winning football games. Yeah. And a lot of things went their way. And you sometimes get to believe in yourself that you're infallible and you just have to show up and win. And the loss of the 49ers, the loss of the Cowboys, I think rocked the foundation of the football team. And they never really regathered from that. They all of a sudden doubt got into play. You lose to Seattle, you lose to the Giants, you lose to Arizona. And I think they went in that Tampa game with serious, serious doubt that they were a quality football team. I believe they were. I believe offensively they have as good as talent as any team in the National Football League. Defensively, a lot of injuries, and the defense is what really hurt them. The coaching change from the coordinators, I think, at that midseason point hurt them. But I still think the talent level on the team is very, very good. But that second half of the season was absolutely it was hard to deal with.
Yeah, you changed defensive coordinators. The secondary wasn't very good. Jalen Hurts might have been hurt, but I didn't think he played anywhere near what we saw in the Super Bowl last year. But Nick Sirianni, you think, is going to stay as the head coach. Let me ask you, do you think the Cowboys reached out to anybody before deciding that Mike McCarthy was going to be the head coach?
I do not. I think Jerry Jones felt very comfortable with Mike McCarthy. And again, you look at the full body of work of Mike McCarthy, it's been very good. Jerry Jones has always been very conscientious about coaches that he's going to keep. Jason Garrett, I think, was there 9.5 years. He doesn't make knee-jerk decisions. I think he is thoughtful as well. He wants to win as much as anybody. But all these owners and all these coaches and all these players, they all want to win badly. They're professionals, and they want to win. But I think sometimes a non-reaction is the best reaction, not a panic move. And I think when Jerry and his sons got together and reviewed where this team has been maybe over the last decade or 2 decades, I think they felt at this point Mike McCarthy was the best choice to move forward.
Can you see Bill Belichick in Atlanta?
I certainly can. Yeah, I think when you look at Arthur Blank, he's dying for a winner. He's been trying and trying and trying, and it just hasn't worked with some of the kind of, I'll say, unknown coaches that he's hired. Maybe didn't have the pedigree of a Bill Belichick, and I think Arthur Blank would be enamored to bring in, obviously the greatest coach of all time. So if you could bring that coach to Atlanta, create that buzz, and find a quarterback, because there's a lot of talent on that Atlanta team. You find the right quarterback, you find your Stroud. That team can turn it around real quick.
All right, let me ask you, we have a couple of poll questions here. If I was going to ask you to rank the better story of the 4 four remaining quarterbacks in the NFC. So if we start with Baker Mayfield, making it to the Super Bowl, not winning the Super Bowl, what is the best storyline? Jared Goff going back to the Super Bowl, Brock Purdy getting to the Super Bowl, and, of course, Jordan Love. The best story of those four quarterbacks making the Super Bowl is who?
Wow, they're all great stories. I think my knee jerk reaction would be Baker Mayfield. I think because he had kind of been thrown to the side of the road as a guy that was done. Been with a number of teams and they didn't see enough in him. He gets in a situation where Todd Bowles believes in him. He had some rough patches during the regular season. He worked his way through it. He fought through injuries late in the season, worked his way through it. And I think the game he played against the Eagles on Monday night was a phenomenal football game. But I think when you look at the history of Baker Mayfield, everyone thought he was a bust, and now he's got a chance to, a couple wins away from a Super Bowl appearance. So my knee-jerk reaction would be to the Baker Mayfield is the top story, but they're all good stories.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, I would take Baker Mayfield as well. Now the AFC. If I said C.J. Stroud in his rookie year is going to go to the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes going back to the Super Bowl, Josh Allen going to his first Super Bowl, and Lamar Jackson going to his first Super Bowl. Best story.
This one's easy. This one's easy. C.J. Stroud, he has been absolutely phenomenal. A rookie to play at the level he's playing at, I think, is just remarkable. And as you can see over my shoulder here is my large screen TV, not on right now. This is where I watch the coaches tape every single week of as many games as I can get through. And as I've watched Stroud progress this season, it has absolutely been fun to watch.
Okay, but what are you seeing, Jones? When you get the coaches' film compared to what we see, what do you see with C.J. Stroud?
I see 11 offense and 11 defense. You see the design of the play and what the defense is doing to take it away. And what the main thing that I see, what jumps out at me, his ability to see the field. He doesn't have tunnel vision. When he breaks the pocket, he's very expansive in his view of the field. He throws people open. They are covered. He sees the void in defense with accuracy and anticipation. He throws people open. He's fearless in the pocket. He'll stay in the pocket and look down that gun barrel, which I think is very, very important in today's NFL because you're still going to get hit. Even though the rules have changed, the quarterback is still going to get hit. So you need to be fearless in the pocket. And his ability to move outside the pocket and still keep his eyes downfield. And believe it, we hear that statement a lot about quarterbacks. Well, his eyes are downfield. Well, no kidding. But it's amazing. Some guys break the pocket and they start looking down and looking for places to run. If you're going to be effective as a movement quarterback in this league, your eyes must be down the field and still moving as you're scanning down the field.
Okay, what do you see with Jordan Love that we may not see?
A little Aaron Rodgers, maybe a lot of Aaron Rodgers. I think there's a part of his game which I look at him and go, oh my God, what are you doing? Throwing off balance and off his back foot. And there was maybe it's the Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre approach to playing quarterback that stays in Green Bay, but some of the most uncommon throws you'll see made by those guys. And I think Jordan Love has kind of picked it up from Aaron Rodgers and the ability to test himself. And what I mean by that is make those difficult throws. Try to make those difficult throws. And then as you move on in your career, you filter them out. You finally figure out what you can do and what you can't do. I think what he's really figured out now is what he can do and has forgotten about what he can't do and doesn't try to do that.
What do you see with Mahomes?
How can you not love Patrick Mahomes? I mean, the way he plays the game, it drives me crazy because, I'm kind of an old school wonk for mechanics and things like that. And he throws that all out the window. He'll not set his feet. He'll throw off balance. He'll throw off platform. He'll throw off rhythm. He'll throw off non-rhythm.
But what's it like as a quarterback, though, Jaws, when you may not have complete confidence in your receivers?
It's horrible.
What's that feeling?
But Dan, it's horrible. When you see receivers dropping the football, and you're always going to say the right things. The media asks you questions. You're always going to support your guys. They're your teammates. They're not trying to drop the football, but deep down inside you get that. Oh my God! Can he make a damn catch? And it begins to deteriorate. It honestly, I played 17 years, and I can say I've had receivers that had chronic drops. Then that happens. That's just the way it is. And the only thing you can do is hug them, and hopefully they can work their way through it. But this team, I believe they had the most drop balls of any team in the National Football League this season. So as a quarterback, you're probably looking at those bonuses you may have for completion percentage. So they're costing you money as well, Dan.
Great to talk to you as always, Jaws. Have fun this weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Always do. Thanks, Dan. Always a pleasure being on the show.
That's Ron Jaworski, former NFL quarterback, and he works the Eagles pre- and post-game live for NBC Sports Philadelphia. So